I don't know what it is, but I know it's something very close to that. Schneider, the actor, the comedian.
Y'all really came out to this rally right now and sat here and let him do this in your face and also have bad, disgusting, little, stereotypical, whack accents is beyond me. This rally
can kiss my butt. That's right, I said it.
I went there. Come at me, Rob Schneiders. If you don't know, Kari Lake is the QAnon of the political sphere, okay? Even the Donald Trumpers are like, this bitch is crazy. Arizona is suffering. Now, I hate to burst the bubble of Rob Schneiderdom, but unfortunately, he's not the Adam Sandler alum or whatever that means to, you know, the Adam Sandler heads. He's we start on him. If you like him, that's fine. But yeah, he's apparently so overly conservative that the people who are conservative cannot support what he stands because it is so foul and crazy. So what did I do? I sat through a couple of specials. I sat through a freaking Tucker Carlson interview and also wanted to touch base on the fact that he thought it was so adorbs making a movie with his daughter while also having a beef with his first daughter and, you know, being a shitty dad, and then thinking that on said Tucker Carlson interview it was the correct time to apologize and talk about stuff with his daughter on that instead of personally talking about it with her. If you don't get your weekend dad ass out of here, I swear to God, I swear to the Lord. So, what I mean by it's so bad, I want to refer to this article by the Hollywood Reporter, and he literally went to a GOP fundraiser, alright? And the jokes and everything was so bad. And he was doing this to a conservative crowd. A conservative crowd! Say it with me again. They're a conservative crowd. That's right. So I'm not sure. Let's read, shall we? Okay, his jokes were deemed too crass for the conservative crowd. Comedian Rob Schneider was pulled from another stage this week when his act at a fundraiser in Canada, which many found inappropriate at an event supporting a hospital, led organizers had to cut him off. What is crazy is who even had this man at a hospital event when he is one of the biggest anti-vaxxers there is known to man, and literally,
I really felt strongly after seeing many people. Some were in tears, some were, incredibly upset. People were leaving the room that I just said to myself, I can't sit by and do nothing. We were all here at Connexus for an amazing event to support the Hospitals of Regina Foundation. The main act of the night was Rob Schneider from TV, movies, whatever. Within probably 45 seconds, he, started sharing things about, being, very anti-vaccinations, very against trans folks, even quite a few misogynistic things, I would say. So I went up and asked to speak to the organizers of the event. At first they were incredibly dejective and sort of saying, well, we're not going to do anything, and we hired this guy, and lots of people are laughing, so, why would we shut him down? And I sort of made a case. Not only is this completely inappropriate and offensive and really filled with hatred, but it's also, the first day of Pride. And we have to recognize what that day means to people, that, especially in a hospital setting where people go through gender-affirming care and reproductive care and fertility treatments, all of those sorts of things, and that's being challenged and mocked and laughed at on a public platform, especially when fundraising for that type of an organization. It's so not okay. They actually told me that they had done research on him, that they said that they watched a lot of YouTube videos about him. So that actually was more concerning to me, when looking at their letter, that they said that their booking agent did it. When I actually heard from organizers that they themselves had also researched him, they finally agreed to go and ask this person to leave the stage and had security waiting to escort him out. I love an apology, but it doesn't mean a lot to show that they've learned anything.
The approximate 150 attendees, which included more than 40 state chiefs of staff, received an apology email the next day. We do our best to ensure every aspect of our program is professional, courageous, and appropriate. We sincerely regret the entertainment at last night's program fell short of that goal, it said. Ooh. SWG said in a statement that Schneider disregarded a verbal agreement he made with Kimmy to keep his set relatively clean. Still, Schneider's brand of edgy, approaching tasteless comedy has been well documented. Yeah, like, what did you expect when you were getting Schneider? Did you think he was going to be, like, giving you, like, Scheinfeld, like, style comedy? No.
As a man, can I say that?
You sure you are? Are you?
I've always wanted to be.
I didn't ask your pronouns before we began.
I've always wanted to be a real man. I never made it.
While chatting on the Honestly podcast with Barry Weiss, Jerry Seinfeld reminisced about the 1960s, the time period that his new movie Unfrosted is set in, and the decade when Jerry was aged 6 through 16.
In that era, again, it was JFK, it was Muhammad Ali, it was Sean Connery, Howard Cosell. You can go all the way down there. That's a real man.
You said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No.
I want to be like that someday.
Now, Jerry says at age 70, he hasn't reached that pinnacle of a man.
I never really grew up.
Jerry, what are you doing?
I'm putting this on him and we're going to the sink.
Oh, Jerry! You're priceless.
You're gonna be the first pirate.
But I don't want to be a pirate. You don't want to as a comedian because it's a childish pursuit. I just want to touch him a little.
I said no.
I miss a dominant masculinity.
Officer! There he goes! Someone took my European carry-all!
What? What is this salty discharge?
Oh my God, you're crying.
It's a black leather thing with a strap.
You mean a purse?
Yes, a purse! I carry a purse!
Yeah, I get the toxic thing. I get it. But still, I like a real man.
This coupled with the it's impossible to write comedy anymore. Jerry, you're starting to sound like Uncle Leo a little bit here.
Look at this. I told him medium rare. It's medium.
It happens.
I bet that cook is an anti-Semite.
Like, I mean, Dwayne Johnson, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Stapleton, Matt Damon, John Hamm, Pedro Pascal, Michael B. Jordan, Denzel Washington, Joe Biden is the president. I mean, I'm not going to even entertain this any further. Like, Jerry, what are you talking about?
So today I'm a little fachada, right?
Fachada? Verklemmte?
Yeah, I don't know.
Schneider has a long history of perpetuating racial stereotypes. Of fucking course he does, because he's Rob Schneider. He literally has a special called Soy Sauce in the Holocaust. What? Are you kidding me? He's like, it came to me because my house smelled like, Huh? You wild for that. No. And the reign of terror continued. Oh my goodness. So I stumbled upon a crazy article listing a bunch of stuff that I need to share with you, and I will link it down below so you can check it all out. But there are certain things that I want to share because I'm like, oh my god. Schneider is proudly anti-vax, and it's costing him, okay? Childhood vaccinations have been controversial lately, as some people believe they are possibly linked with autism. Rob Schneider is loud and proud to be in the anti-camp after creating a video tweeting his thoughts that parents should be responsible for vaccination decisions and not the government. Does he think we're like drafting these kids to go take the... I swear. And also, don't get me started. He found that being so vocal about a controversial subject has professional ramifications. State Farm Insurance Company had an ad starring the comedian playing his famous SNL character, but they pulled it after hearing Schneider's comments. Boston's Wilbur Theater also dropped him from a show. And an even bigger blow to Rob's self-esteem, State Farm also changed their Facebook cover photo from Rob Schneider to the characters made famous by Dana Carvey and Kevin Nielsen in SNL, Hans and Franz. They say, yeah, no, we're going with the, no.
Thanks for all the savings with the discount double check. Gonna come in really handy with the baby.
You're all set. Let me make you a copy.
Ashley making copies, the Ashmeister.
Hi, Rich. This is Steve and Sandy.
Steve and Sandy and Steve-O Jr.
Actually, we're having a little girl. We're gonna name her Abigne Apollinaria.
Steve's kid. Steve and Sandy getting it done. More people-orama.
Making savings with a discount double check. State Farm.
Oh, this. Now, I hope you're sitting down for this one because I honestly couldn't believe it. He once foolishly explained civil rights to a man who helped lead the movement. John Lewis is a civil rights icon and the only surviving person who spoke on the day of the March on Washington back in 1963. A historic photo even exists in which Lewis can be seen clearly marching in the front lines a few feet away from King in 1965 on the march from Selma to Montgomery. I said that so weird. Sorry, Selma to Montgomery. Whether Rob Schneider was just ignorant of this information or just maybe confused, he felt the need to explain King's motivations to Lewis on Twitter, saying, "Lewis, you're a great person, but Dr. King didn't give into his anger or his hurt. That is how he accomplished and won civil rights." Schneider was immediately blasted by other Twitter users for whitesplaining the civil rights movement to a guy who actually participated in it, like was literally there, okay?
He was standing next to Martin Luther King Jr. on the day of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, John Lewis is the only surviving speaker from that day. John Lewis was marching on the front lines with Dr. King during the 1965 march from Selma to Montgomery, okay? The moral of the story is, Rob Schneider, shut the F up forever. I don't even know why anything that Rob Schneider says is news in 2017, especially when it comes to an issue about civil rights. What history does Rob Schneider have in civil rights, or politics for that matter, for us to care? Why do we give energy to certain people when they say certain things? I mean, it makes for great tweets and memes, and I love having content for Donkey of the Day, but I am reminded of the wise words of the great philosopher Dave Chappelle when he said this.
I remember right around September 11th, Ja Rule was on MTV. That's what they said. They said, we got Ja Rule on the phone. Let's see what Ja's thoughts are on this tragedy. Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks at a time like this? I want some answers that Ja Rule might not have right now. You think when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this.
Rob Schneider is the Ja Rule in this situation, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a damn what Rob Schneider thinks about civil rights. Hell, I don't give a damn what Rob Schneider thinks about the deodorant right guard.
His daughter, singer Elle King, distanced herself from his name. Rob Schneider has been married 3 times. The first woman he wed in Las Vegas, 3 days after meeting her, they had a daughter together but divorced 2 years into the marriage. Schneider's daughter, Elle, kept her mother's last name, King, and uses it in her musical career. Elle King has gone on to have Billboard Top 10 musical success and hits, and prefers to keep her distance to her father's name and reputation. She explains, "It's not that I want to be a famous person. I want to be a performer, but I worked really hard and did everything myself, and I took a name that is my mother's name. And I took that name because I wanted to be myself." She said, "No relation, dude." Yeah, so let's talk about this. So he has a comedy special called Soy Sauce in the Holocaust.
The amazing thing about making a human being, making a baby, another human being, it's amazing. All I had to do was come her, you know, and, no, it's more than that, I'm sorry. No, also, I had to choke her a little bit, I'll be honest, Not till she passed out, just till she got a little woozy, have some fun, let's mix it up, you know what I'm saying? Let's mix it up, Have some fun, but, it's amazing. My wife, she's Mexican, her name's Patricia, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not 100% sure. I just run by quickly and went, Patricia, slip, okay, Patricia, I like Mexicans though, because they all have nicknames, Like her name's Patricia, but her nickname is Petita. That's cute, huh? Petita. Hola, Petita. Buenos días, Petita. It's cute, huh? Her nickname for me is, you are a liar and a pervert. Why do you want to stick it in there? He's a pervert. Liar. You're supposed to warn somebody. She's a nice girl. Anyway, if a new baby, her name is Miranda, well, my wife calls her Miranda. It's like, can we just call her Miranda so we can get her into a good school? It's unbelievable what a woman has to go through. I never really realized it. She's breastfeeding. This is how tough it is. A piece of my wife's nipple actually fell off. She's still having to breastfeed every 2-3 hours. If a piece of my penis fell off, that's one dead fucking baby, right there. That is it. No more for you. You cannot control yourself, obviously. That is it. Then again, feeding your baby brings up a set of problems and issues.
You nasty ass bastard! You fucking nasty ass motherfucker! That's nasty, man!
Pretty much any big name comedian has at least one stand-up special under their belt, and Rob Schneider does too. In 2013, Schneider filmed an hour-long special, Soy Sauce and the Holocaust. He thought of the title when he remembered, I'm half Jewish and half Filipino, so my house smelled like soy sauce and the Holocaust. What the fuck? In addition to cringeworthy jokes, his set is filled with lowbrow humor and race-gender stereotypes. The show wasn't well received. One internet reviewer managed to find something positive though, writing, on the plus side, this is better than Schneider's sitcom Real Rob. Now, let me know if y'all want me to watch that. We could do like a deep dive or something, but after a couple of comedy specials and Tucker Carlson and this goddamn Carrie Lake, Arizona fiasco, I'm Rob Schneider out, dude. I can't, babes, I can't. Oh, and I thought this was so fucking weird. I was like, what is going on in the Schneiderverse, literally? Social media can sometimes look like a soap opera, giving the tendency of people to lose their inhibitions and unleash their most dramatic thoughts in a wildly public forum. One such Twitter feud occurred when Rob Schneider and Seth Rogen, for reasons that were never revealed, Schneider blocked Rogen from reading his tweets. Rogen immediately took things to the next level by making fun of Schneider's family photo from a show he was making. Suddenly, other celebrities were chiming in. The former SNL star finally responded, telling Rogen he would unblock him if he introduced him to James Franco. The bizarre ordeal concluded when Schneider welcomed Rogen back and commented on Franco's dreaminess. Rogen never responded. So was he just looking for a meet cute or what? What the fuck? That's so weird. Okay. Okay. God. So the last one from the list that we'll read, because there's literally so many I didn't read, but they're not as extensively whatever, but he took a full-page ad out in Variety boycotting Mel Gibson. And this is an important information because this is going to come back later in the Tucker Carlson interview. This literal specific thing, it's so weird. It's like these grifters forget. In 2006, Mel Gibson was arrested for drunk driving, and in the process, he let a few anti-Semitic comments slip.
He
certainly
ran
not
to
was
his car and said, "I'm not going to get into your car." Gibson attempted to escape arrest. He also said, "I'm going to F you. You're going to regret you ever did this to me." To Bruce Robertson, private investigator. Bruce, I'm hearing a lot of excuses. It's my understanding and my observation as a felony prosecutor that when a DUI suspect refuses to get into the car, to try to run back to their own car, refuses to be arrested, those are grounds for handcuffing, being placed in the car and arrested.
Well, that's true, Nancy. Well, in fact, he was handcuffed after he attempted to flee the officer and get into his car. Initially, the officer told him, if you go ahead and cooperate, get in the back of my patrol car, I'm not going to have to handcuff you. Then Gibson fled for his car. When he got to his car, the officer pursued him, and at that time did handcuff him. But standard operating procedure would have been to have him handcuffed.
He was definitely had drank a little too many that night.
That's why they were shocked when the celebrity indicated he felt fine to drive home.
We were, hey, we'll give you a ride home. We don't think you should be driving. It's like, no, I live in Malibu. I live right down the street. We're like, okay, so do we. We can give you a ride if you need one. He's like, no, thanks. He appreciate it.
You know what? I don't really feel like it's my place to comment on it, one way or another. I feel like there's already way too much commentary on it. I feel like Mel has contributed as much to this business in today's world as anybody. And, I'm not going to comment any more than that. And I know that he's a survivor. I do know that, So, I wish him well. I don't wish him ill.
Provocatively dressed all the time with your fake boobs you feel you have to show off in tight outfits and tight pants. Just telling you the truth. I don't like it. I don't want that woman. I don't want you.
His comments allegedly get worse, turning to racial slurs, which new reports say led to the William Morris Talent Agency dropping Gibson.
And I think a lot of people will just rise to the occasion and seize the opportunity to say something bad about whoever. You know what I mean?
Are you anti-Semitic? No, of course not. And here's the other thing. For me, it goes against the tenets of my faith. To be racist in any form, to be anti-Semitic, is a sin. It's been condemned by one papal council after another. There's encyclicals on it, which is, to be anti-Semitic is to be unchristian. And I'm not.
Rob Schneider was the first actor to publicly announce that he would never work with Gibson, and he made a big deal of it. Then he vowed to turn down any roles offered to him for The Passion of the Christ 2. His talent manager, Bernie Brillenstein, for also refusing to work with Gibson and put in a full stop for a film that he was opening soon. So, as we can see, the literal Snyderverse gets snidey, okay? I don't know what this guy's problem is. I don't know why he's always just forgetting, you know what I mean? In the Tucker Carlson, he literally brings up how people were so mad at Robin Williams and this, that, and the third, and whoop-de-whoop-whoop, and it's like, babe, you took a full page out against him. You were one of the people. Did we forget?
I don't know why, but he and his daughter, one of them, one of the younger ones that he has, decided to make a film and have it pretty much be like almost a love letter to Arizona and like locations here. And let me tell you, it's like, it sucks. Anyways, like the movie and the locations. Don't get me wrong, he picked great ones, but you're gonna have to be a certain type of caliber to, But, so I watched the movie, and I'll probably do, like, its own separate little video on that, because it is just, it's weird. It is weird. So, I don't know why, but, finding the podcast for, Elle King, when she talks about that situation with her dad, is really hard to find, and they blocked it behind a paywall, and if you want to listen to it, you can, but you have to go to, like, I think only Spotify to listen to it, but you can't see it. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about how she has a bad relationship with her dad, and I wish, not Elle, but I wish those Dumb Blonde podcast people, didn't block us behind a paywall, but whatever. Teach their own. Do what you need to do. It's your coin, do your thing. But she just pretty much talked about how she has an awful relationship with her dad because he pretty much failed to be a dad for her.
You are a daughter of Rob Schneider.
Yep. If I would ever spend a summer with my dad, it would be on a movie set. I would just get lost in the shuffle. If I ever messed up a shot, or if I ever was like an arm in the camera, or like if I ever was talking, like I would get in fucking trouble.
Did you ever feel like you guys could connect, or it was just more of like...
Not till I was much, much older.
But I feel like dads have a hard time relating to younger kids. Not all of them.
It's hard. Yeah. I think dads who make the choice to connect with their kids do. I disagree with a lot of the things that he says. You can want someone to change so much. You can't control anyone else's actions. You can't control people's feelings. All you can control is how you react and what you do with your feelings. And sometimes I fucking boil up and I boil over and I fucking bust my lid.
I feel like that's how I'm wired the same way. And my dad, he and I had the same type of relationship where I felt like I was always the one to give it to my dad. I was always the one that was there to be like, no, you're wrong. No, you need to change this. No. And even in the end, it never got through.
You try every different angle. I would try letters. I would try soft. I would try yelling. It's just like, well, see, look, you're yelling. You're yelling.
It's that generation of men, for some reason, they're so fucking toxic. It's everybody else's fault.
Everyone else is the problem. I'm really putting shit out there right now. Okay. But like, my dad forgot about every single birthday. Like, I spent my 18th birthday in a summer school, and they brought me cupcakes, and I came home. My dad forgot my birthday. Come on, it's my one fucking day.
You're killing my fantasy of Rob here.
I'm so sorry.
It's over. It's done. It's over with.
I'm so sorry.
It's just so wild to hear because he goes on Tucker Carlson to talk about how like he's sorry, he didn't mean to come off that way, and he wasn't the dad he was supposed to, like he was then, like da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, you can be the dad she needs now, and you don't have to do it through a Tucker Carlson interview, and you could literally tell this to her face and all this other stuff. And also when he's like telling this to Tucker Carlson, if you know a little bit of backstory about Elle King, I think she did suffer from she suffers from I think she's a problem with alcohol a little bit, and he was just kind of portraying stuff as a lot of like it's an outburst because of like a substance issue, and it's like, well, your daughter's still in the right if she's drunk about you being a bad dad. Like, that doesn't defeat the purpose, you know what I mean? Like, you're still a bad dad if you weren't there and you chose other stuff over than your kid to the point they don't even want to have your last name. But yeah, go on Tucker Carlson because it's going to do you good. Dad, take notes. Don't go on Tucker Carlson, please. No, do not go on Tucker Carlson, please, Lord. So yeah, we have a Tucker Carlson interview, and oh my god, that thing was a doozy in itself. And I just want to talk about, I was like, it literally, like, that whole thing. So pretty much he starts it off with, you know, bringing up the drama with his daughter, and he makes his apology through Tucker Carlson, as we discussed.
I hate to start with this, but I read what looked like a family tragedy playing out of the news, your daughter going after you. It's fun being a parent, isn't it? It can be hard. I go for like 4 or 5 years without talking to my dad. I got my record, and people finally started asking about my dad. My dad called me and was like, don't fucking talk about me in the press. I was like, get fucked. If I would ever spend a summer with my dad, it would be on a movie set. I would just get lost in the shuffle. If I ever missed up a shot, if I ever was talking, like, I would get in fucking trouble. Did you ever feel like you guys could connect? Or it was just more of like, not till I was much, much older? What was that? Well, I want to just tell my daughter, Elle, I love you. And, I wish I was the father in my 20s that you needed. And clearly I wasn't, and I hope you can forgive me for my shortcomings. I love you completely. I love you entirely. And I just want you to be well and happy with you and your beautiful baby, Lucky. And I wish you the best. I feel terrible, and I just want you to know that I don't take anything you say personally. I love you, and I feel that God has gifted this moment and gifted me to be able to just tell you I love you and I accept you, and I apologize for any of my shortcomings that I have. And I wish for you that they heal and be well, and that you have everything that you want, including the dad that you want from me to be. I'm here for you. I love you. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. And anything that you said, I don't take personally. And if I could take away all your pain, I would gladly do it. And if I need to take the hit for you now, I'll do it, and I'll do it again gladly. My heart is your home, and a home is a place when you go there, they have to let you in. And I love you. I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this. But this is a great opportunity because we can talk about families. I mean, show me a perfect family out there, and I'll be shocked. But families, this is, you have to ask, like, is God, I'm a new Catholic. God has presented this to me, and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to say that this is when you have opportunities, like when you're being attacked or you feel like what the world is caving in on like a lot of people feel now, whether it's financially, whether it's politically, people are separating, and especially with people that are dealing with addiction and families that are dealing with addiction. It's hard. It's really tough on the family, and it really is crushing. And so if we're able to discuss and talk about that and help heal people and they give them the opportunity to let them know that this is common and that there are roots you can do to heal. And for people suffering and families suffering from addiction, and unfortunately it is bigger now than any time in my life, we need to have a path for healing. And part of that path is not just getting clean, but I was talking to my good friend Dr. Drew Pinsky, and he said addiction, people have to deal with resentment. That's a really important.
Addressing his shortcomings as a dad when he was young, but he's still her dad, and he's 60 now, and he still can be that dad to her. But he only chooses to bring up the fact that he was just kind of a dumbass as a young man, and it's like, well, you're an older man, so now are you going to still choose to be a dumbass, or are you going to be a dad? So what are we doing here? It's weird. It's crazy how he brings up how he was a failure as a, young dad, and he's trying to be a good dad, but it seems like he's choosing who he wants to be a good dad to because he has 2 younger children with a new wife, right? And it's also super fucked up, and it defeats the whole entire apology. Why wouldn't you personally apologize to her? That's your daughter. Why would you go on Tucker Carlson to make your plea of forgiveness and hope she's like, yes? And you're like, day one, home is where the heart is, and I hope you come home. Excuse me? It's the tactics of pulling on someone's heartstrings to make them feel like they're this big. And it's like something that I notice certain parents do. And it's like, you're not going to excuse that type of behavior with whatever you're feeling towards me to justify how you were literally not present in my life. I'm sorry, but we need to just genuinely, what the freakazoid, you know what I mean? Okay, and so remember how we just talked about the list, right? And I brought up the whole Mel Gibson thing. Now, if you want to watch the Tucker Carlson and all of its hate watching glory, absolutely. It is really long. It's really long, babes. I don't even suggest giving him a view, but if you want to see what he said, I would honestly suggest watching it on 2x speed because you wouldn't have even never have known you were watching on 2x speed. Like, they talk so slow. Anyways, so the list. He literally, I'll timestamp it, I got it for you. He literally brings up Mel Gibson and how when he made The Passion of the Christ, they tried everything in their power to destroy that, but they couldn't. And it's so funny coming from him, since he took a whole ad out in Variety against Mel Gibson for his anti-Semitic comments made during an arrest that, he was experiencing.
Not take him out, and that became the first real internet sensation. And they couldn't stop. They will do what makes money. You think that Sony Pictures wants to have a Christian division? They didn't care about that, but they do now. Why? Because people like Angel Studios are making money non-traditionally, and they didn't see that coming. When Mel Gibson made Passion of the Christ, they tried to destroy that. Oh, I remember very, very well. They hated him for that. And they did not take him out, and that became the first real internet sensation. And they couldn't stop it. He's a tough man. He can take it because he has a faith in God. And he's like, and Catholicism is the closest to the original words of Jesus. And that's why it works for me. And there's a film that I want to make called about the Shroud of Turin. And the Shroud of Turin is the burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth. It is.
Rob Schneider was literally the first actor to publicly announce that he would never work with Gibson. Now, I'm sorry. Let's also not forget he vowed to turn down any roles offered to him for The Passion of the Christ too. It's so weird how these people flip-flop. Like, what are you even saying? He's literally talking in the interview to Tucker Carlson about how they came for him and the way he shot, the movie, and they just try to destroy him and It's like, dude, you were literally one of those people who were, it was. Anyways, you know what I mean, babes? I just can't with the hypocrisy. It makes my stomach hurt. It makes my stomach bubble. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I need y'all to understand that this man has been married 3 different times. He is in his 60s, right? His wife is barely 36, okay? She met him when she was 22 and he was 50 something. That is a 24 and 4 months and 6 days age gap. That's a lot. Like, excuse me? Excuse me. And it's just so weird because, dude, why do these guys in Hollywood think that they're just so entitled to, like, you've already tried, like...
Be so for real right now. If you are over the age of 30 and you are dating a teenager, you are a weirdo. I'm not going to sit here and argue or try to see it from your point of view. Like, that's just weirdo behavior, because teenagers are kids and you are old. I can call you old. I'm 25. I'm halfway there and I already feel like someone's geriatric grandpa. The only thing I can count on my back for is to fail me in the times I need it most. But no, like, all jokes aside, I am not kidding at all. That's just some weirdo behavior. And when you think about the fact that celebrities are already just pretty much a bunch of weirdos, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the Hollywood world is basically just celebrity age gap central. When did it become so out of fashion to date somebody your own age?
I just feel like if you just went out of your way to have more opportunities as a younger person and you chose to still kind of like put your family on the back burner and you're like, okay, well, I'm in my 50s, I want to try again. I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, well, you can get like a redo. You can get like a redo at this family stuff. That's gross and disgusting, and I hate that. And I just, you know, whatever, you know, people can change and stuff, but like, dude, it just, imagine, like, in the movie too, for the little girl, like the whole movie's about her, they had Elle in it for 2 seconds and she was a farmer, and I'm sure she didn't care, want to be in it, or maybe who knows, but I would just feel so like a little bitter because he just puts her on such a pedestal of being amazing, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing? The way you pick and choose who you want to be a good father to is beyond me. So the main the main special I want to get into is his most recent one, right? So his most recent one is on Fox, and it was on their website, and they were like trying to lock it behind a paywall, but you know what I mean? Anyways, Woke Up in America. Let's get into it. So the show starts off by making jokes about how we need to close our borders because Californians keep coming to our states and messing them up. Bitch, spoiler alert, you are from there. You are from there. Him and his family moved from California to Arizona because of the fucking mask mandates, especially for his children. He didn't want them to wear them in school. After a week of moving here, they all mandated in Arizona for the mask to be worn in school in like public places, and that's what his jive turkey ass gets, because what is wrong with you? So he starts to compare the state of California to a woman who doesn't love you, or my bad, sorry. Okay.
California is like a beautiful woman who used to blow you, but she hasn't blown you in a long fucking time.
Like, damn, bro is hurting, okay? You know what I'm saying? And then we get later on into the show, and he makes an illegal joke about his wife getting to the country by coyote, and now they have real ones in their backyard. And I don't mean to be that cynical bitch, but like, I don't know if y'all saw, but like Tommy Lee and Brittany Ferland, who live in California, literally just got their dog ripped out of their backyard because of coyotes. And like, in Arizona, it's a thing, but they really don't want to come and mess with you. You know what I mean? And you gotta be like, like, I feel like you have more of a chance on a mat like in Arizona or in California, because it's like, I don't know. I'm not a geo. I don't know what that, like, a location person. I don't know what that's called. Brain fart. Sorry, guys. Sorry. This stuff's melting my brain. You know what I mean? So then, you know, he makes another joke about his wife getting stung by a scorpion, and they've only been there for one day. They've only been there for one day, right? And she's Mexican, but, you know, the bug had to get its stomach pumped, and the scorpion wouldn't come back to the house unless it was sprayed for Mexicans.
The scorpion was throwing up for hours. We had to take the scorpion to the hospital and get his stomach pumped. The scorpion would not come back to the house until we had the whole place sprayed for Mexicans.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Okay. What are you saying to me right now? Like, what are you saying to me? So then it gets even more headache burning, churning, and like, you know what I mean? He brings up vaginoplasties and how they are super popular, but the reason why some women are getting them is because they have beefy vaginas, and then goes into this bit about how you could fold it up and tuck it in and turn it into a dick.
How can I say this gently? For some women, their vaginas are a little on the beefy side. You know, ladies, you've been in the locker room. That's more of an outie than an innie. Yeah. Yes. Tuck it in, tuck it all in. Yeah, just grab both. Just shove. Yes. Better. Too much. Squeeze that all together for a dick almost.
Like, I need someone to like sit with his dumb stupid ass and have him know the difference between a vaginoplasty and a labiaplasty. A labiaplasty is something that's for cosmetic reasons, cosmetic situation, okay? A vaginoplasty is someone that is getting bottom surgery to get a vagina. This guy is so ignorant. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. And he categories all women into this. And then in the whole special, he talks about how he hates how all women are categorized with trans people and like all this other shit because of trans people. And it's like, dude, you don't even know the difference. Like, you don't even know the difference on the subject you're trying to shit on, you idiot. And I will have links below for that as well, so you can see what the fuck the difference is. Might be a little too graphic for YouTube, obviously, but yeah, it's just so funny when these people can't do like a bare minimum research, and you're like, oh, like, damn, you just get up in here and spit, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit. So the further the show gets into, at the 9:19 minute mark, he talks about how women are attacked for being women. And this is coming from the guy that's just like a murder mod, okay? Like, I swear, I don't know what it is about that fedora, but it is the green goblin in his closet, y'all. It is something that is looking at him to the side and says, bitch, put me on. We about to be racist, homophobic, all of the isms, all of the phobics, all of the, you know what I mean? He's about to put it on, all right? He's about to go hard beast mode on that shit. So he brings up the Supreme Court justice and the video of a woman asked to define what a woman is in a gotcha moment, but avoids the question. And he's making gestures of him squeezing his imaginary boobs and flips his non-existent hair because, you know, he's just so luscious and has so much of it. The only thing
attacked in our culture. It's unbelievable to me, you know? Even using the word woman now is controversial. We have a Supreme Court justice on the Supreme Court. They asked her, they said, can you tell us your definition of what a woman is? She's like, not falling for that trick question. You almost had me on that one. No. Not a biologist. What? Excuse me? Everybody knows what a woman is. A woman is someone who gets mad at you for something you did 3 fucking years ago. Biological fact. Someone who uses the tires of a car as curb feelers. You could have drove, you asshole. Yeah, well, now no one can drive because we have a tire that's 100 yards behind that car.
Because his like caricature of a woman is him squeezing his tits and like flipping his imaginary hair and like pretty much mocking her, right? That's his depiction of a woman, is what he's displaying on stage. And he says he's not a biologist, but hey, come on, we all know what a real woman is. It's just like so annoying. That question is so annoying. They think they eat with it every time. Like a woman literally meant like a woman who used to like mill the corn. A woman used to mean so many like closed box things, but guess what? Like I don't even need to explain anything to y'all, because at the end of the day, these ignorant fucks always try to get you in a gotcha moment, and it's like, babe, I just can't even get into it. I'm just gonna go way too hard, you know what I mean? Like these people are gonna be like, well, you define it, bitch. I don't need to define it. Good fucking bye. I'm not here for your caricature entertainment. If you want to sit here and like get you gotcha gotcha, baby, you can find and do your own research if you want to have your own gotcha moment, because I'm sick and tired of giving these motherfuckers resource after resource and they do nothing with them. So guess what? If you want to figure it out, babe, you can look it up, because you ain't gonna get me in a Charlie Kirk with your little like gummy teeth, bitch. Okay, next. All right. Then he talks about how his wife nags him to help him do stuff, and he gets annoyed by her worrying and makes a joke about how the only person that wants to kill her, okay, because like the whole joke is about him, you know, being annoyed because she's like, did you do this? Did you do this? And it seems like they're doing this before bed. So he says,
honey, the only person who wants to kill you is already in the house. He knows all the codes. And he can change the codes if he wants.
If you don't sit your eerie little ass down, like, ew, these old dudes always think they eat, whatever. Brings up again how being a real woman is controversial and how the word woman now discriminates against women who have dicks. Trans women are women! Stop! You're gonna make my head explode, babe!
Like 10-year-old me would just like be lying on the ground crying from happiness if they saw me right now. Cause like, what do you mean I'm a girl? Like, what do you mean I'm just like in my girly room wearing my girly clothes with my girly makeup and my girly girls? Like, that's so cool! I'm just here to remind you that you are cool and you are a girly girl if you want to be a girly girl. If not, you're a manly man or a androgynous androgynon. Okay, just be you.
I need to cool down. 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 This shit always gets me hot. I literally, like, I was gonna make, before I came out on this YouTube, I was gonna make a whole response against this, like, channel. Yo, like, I have never, like, me and my boyfriend were watching that and it just gave off like, do you know a gay person? Do you know a gay person? Because this is scary how ignorant this shit is. You know what I mean? It is wild. You know what I like? Okay. Then he brings up the airline industry wanting to hire more diversity pilots, but not the ones that are qualified, like the white men getting us there safely already. Now, I know y'all ain't cherry picking information because, you know what I'm saying? And I think they should be building better planes and focusing on treating the workers that they already have greatly, because you just bringing in more people isn't going to help situating like the airline industry. You know, I can agree to disagree to some points, but like bring in diversity. What's the fucking problem? If you have qualifications, do your thing. He's just acting like the only qualification that they're looking for is someone to be brown or black.
What? Diversity? Not the best pilots you can find? The ones with the most hours of experience? There's your job before. Nope, diversity. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of flying all the time with these white pilots landing safely and on time.
Be pushing into a 12-plus-hour day and then some.
Dennis Tajer is one of more than 100,000 pilots in the U.S. grappling with this summer's travel demand. It's led to chaotic scenes from long lines at LaGuardia Airport to seas of baggage in Frankfurt.
What I'm seeing right now, I have never seen in my 30-plus years at the airlines.
Tajer is also a spokesman for the Allied Pilots Association, a union representing American Airlines pilots. The two sides are currently in the middle of negotiations over a new contract, and Tajer says they're understaffed and overwhelmed.
There's this global airline pilot shortage, and it's not something that can be quickly or easily addressed.
While travelers have returned, there are 230,000 fewer workers across the industry than there were before the pandemic. We look at how all this is taking a toll and how the industry is trying to fix things for pilots. The root of the problem goes back to 2020. Lockdowns and travel restrictions due to the pandemic stifled most air travel around the world. To survive, the aviation industry scaled back its workforce, with the 4 largest U.S. carriers alone losing more than 4,000 pilots in 2020. This shortage is being felt most acutely by regional carriers, who've pulled out of some routes with fewer passengers, restricting access to smaller cities.
Pilots are being stretched at some airlines to their limits.
Henry Hardevelt is the founder of Atmosphere Research, an airline and travel industry analysis group. He says that this shortage has upended the control pilots have over their schedules. Each month, airlines share a roster of upcoming flights, with pilots choosing the ones they want. Any remaining flights are left up for grabs for pilots that have some extra time.
They earn more money as a result when they fly those trips. So it's a win-win for the pilot and the airline.
But the predictability of this system broke down in the summer, when the travel season was hit by extreme weather, technical glitches, and other snafus. Flight schedules had very little buffer room to deal with these unexpected issues.
Now to the terrifying incident on an Alaska Airlines flight. An off-duty pilot is accused of trying to cut off the engines. He was restrained and is now charged with attempted murder. This morning we're hearing from passengers on that flight. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, has the latest for us. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, thank goodness for that quick-thinking crew on that plane who made sure nothing happened to the passengers on board. As you said, Michael, this was a terrifying moment, and now this morning that man faces an incredible amount of charges. This morning, the off-duty pilot accused of trying to take down a passenger plane heading to court to face more than 100 charges, including 83 counts of murder. 44-year-old Joseph Emerson allegedly trying to crash an Alaska Airlines flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco on Sunday with 84 people on board. Speaking on camera for the first time as he awaits trial.
Sarah and I would like our story to be of some value, right? We think it tells the larger story on pilot health.
It was last October when Emerson was catching a ride in the cockpit jump seat on a flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco, when he says nothing felt real.
There was a feeling of being trapped. Like, am I trapped in this airplane? This is not real. I need to wake up.
Emerson says he had taken psychedelic mushrooms for the first time 2 days before the flight, thinking they might help with depression, but believes he was still hallucinating during that flight. He stood up and pulled handles in the cockpit that are meant to shut off the engines in the case of a fire. It didn't work, and if it had, that could have brought the plane down.
There are 2 red handles in front of my face, thinking that I was going to wake up, thinking this is my way to get out of this non-real reality. I reached up and I grabbed and I pulled the levers.
Did you know what the levers were at the time?
What I thought is, this is going to wake me up. I know what those levers do in a real airplane, right? And I need to wake up from this. It's 30 seconds of my life I wish I could change, and I can't. So the pilots react to the difficult situation that I just handed. And I said, you guys want me off the flight deck? I'm off the flight deck.
He left the cockpit, listened to one of the pilots.
We've got the out of the cockpit.
Emerson says he then tried to grab the handle of an emergency exit door, but a flight attendant stopped him.
I put my hand on the lever. I didn't operate the lever. She put her hand on mine. And I think around that period is when I said, I don't understand what's real. I need you to tough cuff me.
In the air, he texted his wife.
You text me, I've made a big mistake.
And what were you thinking at that point?
I was like, what in the hell is he talking about? And I immediately got on FlightAware, because that's how I can track him. And I saw that the plane was diverted. And I think I texted him back, is this because of you?
Emerson says he'd been struggling with some form of depression ever since his best friend Scott suddenly passed away, but didn't turn to a psychiatrist for medication, worrying a formal diagnosis could end his career. He instead turned to alcohol, and eventually those psychedelic mushrooms in October.
Coming into this, I hadn't really been sleeping a lot the night that I took the magic mushrooms, and I did not sleep that night. And so this cumulative sleep deficit, I believe, may have also impacted just my perception of what was going on.
Emerson without speaking about it all. In the new documentary, the New York Times presents Lie to Fly on FX as he and his wife focus on increasing awareness about mental health in the cockpit.
Shut the fuck up, babe. They're not gonna let... I can't. Like, this shit is so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb. It's so dumb. Then he talks about how a worker at a store asked him to put a mask on. And once they said it's for their safety, he didn't like that. And then he said this as the whole, like I guess you would say, like, I'm so bad with, like, comedy narration fucking on point stuff. But I guess the punchline or, like, the ending of the joke was, like...
Okay, show me your tits. For me!
Ew!
What an interesting artifact.
Show me your tits if you want me to put a mask on. Is he okay? What is your problem? Why is it... It's like people like this that get so mad. It's like, yeah, do it for her safety. If someone's asking you to do it, like, maybe, I'm sure it's annoying. You may like not like that person. That's fine, but... Babe, it's a mask. Put it the fuck on. And your breath probably smells anyways because you're always talking shit. Man. And then he talks about how the gays won by getting their right to, like, marry, but left the door open enough for the really crazy gay people to walk through the door. Like...
Gay pride? Yeah, Gay Pride Day. I'm all for it. I will say, Gay Pride Month seems a little pushy, to be honest with you.
Is Pride Month, like... Okay, so... I'm just kidding. But he said Pride Month is too long and it's very pushy, comparing the latter to veterans. I am so sick of this. Like, these motherfuckers always be like, but our veterans though. Dude, shut the fuck up. Like, everybody deserves their thing, but, like, I think you're failing to, like, understand, like, the failed representation of, like, just being acknowledged as a gay person. So, yeah. And it's so funny that they get mad at a month. Like, bitch... Sorry. And, like, okay, if we feel that strongly about the veteran stuff, let's make it a month. But, like, why don't you go talk to a representative about that? Why do you keep, like, trying to act like it's the gays' fault because they have a month? They didn't do anything. They just gay. Like, babe, you got me saying this is so stupid. Like, what the and says it's crazy the presidents only get a day and presidents like Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves, only get a day, and so do presidents like George Washington, who founded the country. This motherfucker's wearing slave teeth. He doesn't get a day. He's categorized with everybody else. He's lucky he's on the fucking roster. Motherfucker was wearing sleeve teeth amongst other bullshit just because you founded the country. I can't. I'm about to moonwalk out this situation. This is so dumb. Like, how do you... But then he finishes off by saying, but if they sucked each other's dicks, they would have had a whole month. Why are you so mad? Are you mad? Do you need some pee-pee? What's wrong? Are you okay? And says lesbians are under attack now more than ever, and if we don't like trans women, they're genital bigots and racist. Like, dude, how fucking dense are you? You know what I mean? Like, and if you refuse to sleep with them, you're being a genital racist and a bigot. And keep saying to look it up, it's true. Now, I got a little story time for y'all. There was a person who is gay. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? And they were having, you know, almost relationshipness with somebody that was trans, and they hadn't got their bottom surgery yet, and this was like before they did, and things still happened. You know why? Because they liked each other, and if they didn't, it would have been kept it pushing. That person's not for you. Oh my god. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure, like, whatever fucking point you're trying to make, ignorance, whatever the shit, but you trying to always back it up with look it up, and then when you look it up it says the complete otherwise, and you wonder why you have literal political like parties like denying you. It's honestly so pathetic. His children are going to be the laughing stocks of Arizona because you can't stop advertising for this motherfucker because you got such a hard on for the state. I don't know why. To each their own. But if that's my dad and like like dude, yeah, like excuse me. So yeah. Like he's just says his wife came into the kitchen one day and asked if he voted for Trump, and how could he? His wife is a Mexicana, and so are his daughters. And 4 years later, she votes for Trump because she doesn't want to be called a person who menstruates. Like, who is calling anyone that? Genuinely, who's calling anybody that? And he's like, I'm a mujer, bendejes, or like, I just, his Spanish, babe. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm learning Spanish too. I'm doing my thing. I get it, babe. But he just like loves to use his wife's like personality as a Mexican woman as a stereotypical like wife trait, and it's weird. And I don't know why he's always bringing up like, I don't know, like I just weird, you know what I mean? So and then before we get to the last part of it, right? So he goes into a super long bit about his most iconic roles, and it goes on for so long.
Do you have time on your hands right now? You're not playing any girls in any movies either. Hey bro, it's me, Jessica.
Like, it goes on for so fucking long. Like, he literally does a quote from every movie, and it's almost like, it's pathetic, babe. It's pathetic. Like, it's not it's not giving. It's not giving. And don't get me wrong, I love him in Hot Chick. I love Little Nicky. But it's like, I have to also be an adult and realize that this guy is a piece of shit. Racist, homophobic, all the icks, all the isms there is. And it's just annoying that he thinks he can like use his stardom to like amplify these thoughts for these dumbassery type of like situations. And it's like, dude, you're supporting Kari Lake, you're on her literal thing. Like, what are you thinking, asshat? I swear, they literally had like, hopefully I can find the picture, but they literally had like a thing where it showed like her being told like, hey, you need to get off, Trump's waiting, like, get off, Trump's mad. Like, this bitch just cannot shut her mouth. And it's so funny too, because I used to watch her every single night on the news because she was a newscaster. That's who she is. And it's just like, what happened? John Hook would be fucking, he's rolling in his news chair right now, you know what I mean? I just genuinely can't. And I just think it's so funny that someone like Rob Schneider thinks he can just start mouthing off at the dome. And like, you know, I got fucking lipstick on my chin. I always get it on my chin somehow. I just think it's so funny that he just forgets, you know what I mean? And then he hides behind being friends with Adam Sandler. I swear, Adam Sandler is the Joe Rogan of like the buddy comedy sphere over there. Like, there's something, I don't know what it is. And if you like Adam Sandler and his movies, totally fine. I'm talking about like as a person, there's some weirdness going on over there, and he's like the Joey Rogan of it all. And I'm just like, something's not adding up. You know what I mean, babes? It's giving fraudulent. But yeah, that was the head churning kind of sort of deep dive into Rob Schneider. And I honestly just need to get this off my chest because I've had to be shown this goddamn rhetoric because I live in this state as him, the same one, and I'm just so tired of the Kari Lake bullshit. I'm so tired of like him just spewing dumb assery stuff that's ignorant, and it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Like, you know you're fucking up when the literal like crazy conservatives are like, yeah, this was too far. I didn't know we had it in us. Like, for real. Arizona was already a crazy state. I didn't know it could get wilder because you and Kari Lake said in unison, we got this. Like, you can do it. And he's like doing a slogan like you can do it. Like, if you don't stop sucking Adam Sandler off, I can't. But yeah, babies, I hope you enjoyed it. I love you so much, and man, Godspeed to anyone who has to see like the conservatism of Rob Schneider of it all, because it's scary boots, bitch. It's scary boots. And if you want me to like react or break down specific specials or the movie, let me know. I got you, because my head's exploding from all like at the same time. I don't know. I think that's the magic number. At the same time, that's how you torture somebody. Love you, babies. Bye.
The little man from Beach Tree and Sons is coming over to talk hoo-hooba. Oh, God, I hope he's sober. Oh, we've got stacks of hoo-hooba left over from October.
Oh, you got stacks of
It's like the rural juror.
Yes, the accent is really crazy.
It's the rural juror.
Australian people, please, like, give me a guide to these accents. Like, what is this posh accent?